What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank you all so much for joining myself, Genesita, for this being my Thursday night, 8 p.m. live hot topics and social commentary show. I'm so glad that you guys have decided to join us. I'm so grateful that you decided to spend your 8 p.m. hour with us. We're so honored that you decided to do that. A couple things I want y'all to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big white subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing. So go ahead and mash it for a brother. Also, be sure to leave a thumbs up for this video. Let me know you're the content I'm putting out on my channel. Also, be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the various topics we'll be discussing on tonight. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTubing streets. A couple of announcements. Be sure to check out my reviews for Married to Medicine as well as RuPaul's Drag Race. Those were released on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then tomorrow I will be releasing my review for Survivor 50. I believe it's going to be on episode 4. I actually haven't even watched it yet. Typically, my mom and I watch it on Thursdays, but we were doing a little bit of cleaning for some guests we'll be having this weekend. So, you know, that, yeah. So we didn't get to watch that, but I'm sure we'll watch it tomorrow. So I'll be getting, if I don't get it out by tomorrow, I should be having it out by the end of the weekend. Genesita, how goes it, my love?
Hey, I didn't finish my meal, so I'm gonna have to do it while we're here. My bag.
It's okay. There are plenty of YouTubers that eat while they're recording, so I don't mind whatsoever. And Mama made some sausage with some potatoes that I will be annihilating tonight for sure. For sure. I
Amazing.
want to start out with giving my condolences for the family and friends of Kiki Shepherd. She was the former Showtime at the Apollo co-host. She passed away.
Legend.
Legion. She passed away this week, and so we want to send our condolences out to all of her family, friends, and everyone who loved her. She will be dearly missed. I mean, you know, who else would you have putting her hand above the talent? Okay, do you choose this one? Do you choose that one? Who would you like? You know what I'm saying? That's what Price is Right, girl. We got Kiki Shepard. Okay. Anyway, so shout out to her and her family. So I wanted to start out tonight's show with a little bit of an Oscars talk. I didn't watch it myself. I typically I don't think I've ever seen an entire broadcast of the Oscars in my life. Like not an entire one. I think I've watched it, you know, here and there, but I've never seen an entire one. But as I predicted, Sinners came away with 4 Oscars. I said 4 or 5. Best Leading Actor, Michael B. Jordan, which I was shocked about, but I'm so happy that he did win. Will Smith
Who
and
did you
Demi.
think would win?
I wasn't sure because I had a feeling that Timothy Chalamet would probably win, mainly because he won the Critics' Choice Award as well as the Golden Globe for his role. And not all the time, but a lot of times, those who win the Golden Globe end up winning the Oscar. But, you know, that's
Well,
kind of like 50-50. So,
he didn't help himself with that though.
no, he didn't. And a lot of,
In
I
the
saw a lot
meantime,
of
in between time,
I saw a lot of people talking about what he said on Matthew McConaughey's podcast or show, whatever the case might be. And, you know, that probably, I know that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But before we move on, Jennifer, can we get to these comments real quick? Because I see we got a couple in the comment section.
yeah. But even before then, he was just being smug, being a
Okay.
young dude, privileged, and all that stuff. And I've actually seen a lot of videos of people that watched Marty Supreme, which is what he was nominated for,
Okay.
and they were like,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it. So,
Right.
yeah, something tells me that whatever they put in the water to make things work, he dissolved it.
Yikes.
Dawson is here.
Hello, Dustin.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for coming.
Lady Virgo has been able to make it over here. She says, "Good evening, everyone."
Hey, Lady Virgo. So glad you're here, boo.
She made sure to say, "JoJo Speaks, Preferred Fire Reiki, Dustin Butler. Hey, good evening to you all. Auntie Robin.
Hey, Auntie Robin.
She said hello. And Lady Virgo made sure to say hey to Auntie Robin.
Um, Also, Centers won for Best Original Score, one for Best Original Screenplay, and one other one. I think it might have been cinematography, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they won for cinematography as well. There's also been a little bit of talk about Tiana Taylor. There were two things that happened that night that made the news. Tiana Taylor was extremely excited. Tiana Taylor was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And when the winner was announced, her name was Amy. She had been nominated multiple times, and Tiana jumped up out of her seat and was jumping for joy and was so excited for her to win. And a lot of people were saying that that seemed kind of inauthentic of Tiana or fake, or it didn't make sense to them. Like, because typically when you do watch award shows, a lot of times that's not the reaction of someone who doesn't win the award. But Tiana Taylor, she was happy for Amy winning her Oscar and she was excited for her. And I see absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Also, Tiana Taylor was allegedly shoved by a
Can I speak
security.
on that real quick?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, like what the reason why, in my opinion, people believe there was a problem with that
Mhm.
is because they can never see themselves happy for somebody that they
Exactly.
didn't and they didn't win something that they were going up against somebody. They don't know they think they the only thing that is acceptable or what people would do is force a smile and clap. Like they don't believe that it's possible for somebody to be elated for somebody else winning. That's what I believe. And it's so stupid to just make it seem as if, she's a hater or something. Like, what's wrong with being happy for someone to clap? And then it's like, Tiana Taylor just stepping up in here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Her first time
And
being nominated.
I'm sure she is already elated to be nominated. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the problem?
I see
Well, I
no
know what the
problem.
problem is.
Okay. She's black. She's black. She's Negro. Anyways.
And not acting like a hater.
Right, because that's what they wanted her to do. But
Exactly.
anyways, let me put my phone on silent. I can't believe I didn't do that. And she was also allegedly shoved by a security guard. I don't know if there's actual video out there, but Tiana Taylor did speak on it, and she said she does not put up with disrespect. So, shout out to
Yeah,
Tiana Taylor
there's
for keeping it
video.
real.
I don't believe there's video of the shove, but I certainly saw video of her going off on the man for basically shoving her out the way because I guess he believed she was in the way. And she went, I don't know what borough she's from,
But she's
but
from
she,
New York, though.
but she went New York
Okay.
on them niggas, and I believe all of that is deservedly so. You should go off. It's like I'm not saying that she was just shoved because she was a black woman. What I'm saying is that there was disrespect in the building and it needed to be addressed. And she ain't scary to not address the and you see how small she is. She's not only short, but
She's teeny
she
tiny.
is a small frame girl. Like, no, you don't we ain't gonna be doing any of that.
You will not assault me, okay?
Exactly, and she did as she should. To be honest, I love how you use the word assault. She can go ahead. She need to go ahead and do some charge pressing or something. She got to do
Pressing
something.
charges, honey.
Okay, charge pressing, press.
I'm telling. I'm telling. Okay. I'm snitching on all you
Yeah.
niggas.
Oh, you niggas.Vel Vibration says hello and happy Thursday to everyone. But yeah, um, I know it's a fun ploy to make her seem like she's aggressive for no reason. But no, if I'm being shoved out the way because you believe that it's all Jonathan. It was crowded.
Yeah.
All you see is shoulder to shoulder people. What makes you think shoving me out your way is going to be the best move?
Right. Yeah.
Craziness.
That was ridiculous, but I'm so glad that Tiana Taylor stood up for herself, and it's
As she
so
should.
it's so amazing to see Tiana's growth from watching. Because I remember watching her Super Sweet 16 show episode on MTV so many years ago, and I was like, "Who is this girl?" But she's been in this game for a long time, and I love to see the growth, and I love that she's dipping into her acting thing, and also Auntie Dionne Warwick gave Tiana her props for
Ciao.
speaking up for herself. I can that Dionne Warwick biopic better be in production. Like I need to see it now. Now I need to see that thing because I know Tiana is going to kill it. And I smell an Oscar nomination coming up for it. Like I know she's going to do amazing. I know she is. She's a great actress. She's an amazing actress. The first time I saw Tiana Taylor in an acting role was on Straw. Tyler Perry's Netflix movie. I thought she did amazing on that, even though I didn't necessarily care for the wig, but that's not her fault. But I thought Tiana is a great actress. I probably even will go out and see the movie that she was in. The movie she was in actually won Best Picture. She was in it with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
So I definitely
I
want to
heard a
check
lot
that
of
out.
people say they don't understand why it won Best Picture. Everything all at once. So I believe that's how it is. But yeah.
That's typically though the question almost every year of the
Mm-hmm.
best picture winner. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. So the Oscars was a great night. I love the fact that celebrities weren't scared of talking about politics on stage, although it wasn't the biggest thing that happened that night. There were some who did speak out, and I applaud those who felt encouraged to do so for sure. So next on the docket, because I don't think we have any other comments after that. So Jack Harlow, the rapper. For those of you who may not be familiar, he was featured on Little Nas X's "Industry Baby." He was doing a podcast with two other white fellows, and they were speaking of the trajectory of his music and the taste of his music, and they mentioned that a lot of times when white rappers, you know, go through their career, when they get into the latter years of their career, when they're moving forward in their career, they typically go more towards the white side of things when it comes to the rap. And they said that, you know, well, you didn't do that. You sort of kind of delved into, and he said, I got blacker. And apparently that has raised some eyebrows. Here's, here's my thing. And this might not be a very popular opinion, but it's my opinion. So I'll stand on it. I'm so appreciative of the fact that Jack Harlow recognizes his privilege in the space that he is in, and he understands, even though he's not the biggest white rapper out there or the biggest rapper in general out there, but I love the fact that he understand. He at least seems to understand. He didn't, you know, really say it, but he seems to understand, you know, where he is. He seems to understand where his fan base is, and if he understands that he got blacker in his music, I think that's great that he's even able to acknowledge that out loud on a podcast. So me personally, I have no issue with him saying that, you know, his music got blacker, because maybe he could have said it maybe have gotten a little more urban, but maybe that's not in his vocabulary to say it got urban. And that to me would be with him being kind of avoiding the verbiage of it got blacker, because if that's the case, then that's the case. I personally have no issue with him saying that. And once again, I applaud him for at least recognizing where he stands in the rap game and understanding what he wanted to do. Because a lot of times when you have any not even just white rappers but white artists, for instance, Miley Cyrus, who came out with the Bangers album, that was clearly directed toward the African American community, and now she's doing nothing like that at all. Like, she's not calling up Mike Will Made It to make another song for her. Like, she seemingly used the African American community to kind
Seemingly.
of, well, she used the African American community to catapult her music career, because before that, the only that she really had was Party in the USA. So, you know, it
She
kind of,
had Hannah Montana hits.
sure, okay, yeah, I guess she
Just
did.
because we didn't watch it doesn't mean it didn't exist.
Right, exactly. I wasn't paying attention to Miley Cyrus's music career before Bangers even came about, but you know, she seemed to move away from that, and I think that's what those podcasters were talking about. And that you know, those of the white persuasion who delve into the black side of musical things, they tend to kind of dip into it and then go back to, I don't want to say their people, but their side of things.
But it's real.
It is real.
I know you
It
don't want
is
to say, but
real.
it's true.
And I applaud Jack Harlow for, I believe he did it because that's what he wants to do. And that's where his love of music lies. So there's my two piece on that. Jennifer, what are your thoughts on that entire conversation?
I totally disagree.
Okay.
There is a whole level of disrespect in the place.
Wow.
Because if you love something, if you're reverent about that, and you mean it from the depths of your heart, you're not going to be passe about the process.
In what way? What do you mean by that?
Let's consider somebody that's huge, Bruno Mars.
I was just about to say that.
Okay, So it has not been recorded, Bruno Mars talking that recklessly about the people that has inspired him and his music.
Okay.
He has given reverence. Even on a freaking Grammy stage, he said their name.
Right.
And he has been respectful of the people that's being represented by the music that he's making.
Okay.
I'd like to give another one. Haley
Haley Williams from Paramore.
from Paramore.
Yes.
She's not per se making black music, but there's certainly some inspiration in the midst.
Okay.
She has always been very respectful.
Of course.
You can see her as the white girl that she is that came up in the South,
Hmm.
but she's never talked about the African American community so flippantly because I've seen so many interviews of her addressing the fact that black people love her and her music so much.
Hmm.
She's never spoken like that. There's a lack of respect when you just say, "Yeah, I'm just getting blacker." Like you're just talking to your white friends.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
also kind of shows you don't got nobody black that's available to actually tell you the truth, to tell you how you sound.
Mm.
There's no respect. The reason why I didn't name Miley because yes, she appropriated the African American stuff
For sure.
to break away from the kitty stuff
Right.
and to be seen. And as soon as she was done with that and people saw her, she jumped off and went to what she wanted to do for real.
Right.
And that's the same story for a lot of artists.
Okay.
The companies have even used it, like for Pink. It might have not been, what she wanted, but
It
the
wasn't.
company said this is what you need to do to get there.
The
And did
company
it not
being
work?
L.A. Reid.
Yeah,
Yes.
but did it not work?
It sure did. There you go. Look at pitiful.
Come on, Candy
Just gonna
Burst.
let you go. Okay.
So this is not an overreach of sensitivity from the African American community.
Mm.
This is the recognizing of what he is doing. Do you know what he named his album, Jonathan?
What did he name his album?
Monica.
Okay.
Do you hear it? Do you feel it, Jonathan?
I do. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's a no. So, yes, every bit of the backlash that he's receiving for exposing himself for using our culture is well deserved.
Okay. Got you. I completely understand because I really hadn't, I really hadn't considered how flippant he said it because he said it like just so quickly and just so I got blacker. Yeah, yeah. It's did seem I now thinking back on it again, it seems very insensitive. Really really insensitive. And so yeah. That and that's why I love this show because you give me a different perspective. You and Bianca when she's here. Y'all give
And
me great different perspectives.
I'm
So
telling you, Jonathan, it's like you can't just let stuff like that keep on going. And
right.
he once again he had the nerve to say that on a hot mic.
Hot mic.
So everything that you receive after that is absolutely yours. But people were Jonathan, people were already talking. His album was out before this interview was out.
Mm.
And once again, as soon as they saw it was Monica, it was like, hold up. Immediate. And they were calling him all kinds of different names. Um, they called him music stole child, as in stole the music,
Wow.
uncommon, basically all
Mhm.
kinds of different names. Um, Somebody said De La No Soul,
Oh,
like so many,
wow.
because that's how the music was sounding, and basically he's throwing his oppression in our face. He's throwing the appropriation in our face. Like, here, this is what you niggas like. Here you go. Have my nigga.
And pass me that check.
So yes, everything he's receiving is deserved. I'm gonna stop.
Got- Gotcha. I understand. Thank you once again, Jennifer, for giving me that perspective. Yeah. Any comments before we move forward, Genesita? I didn't mean to ask you that while you were in the middle of a swig. Okay. So, Miss Tina Knows. Miss Tina Knows has a new business venture. She is selling her gumbo. She's selling
Ooh.
her gumbo, y'all. So she has a seafood version with beef sausage and no, she's got a seafood version with beef sausage, chicken, shrimp, and blue crab. That is
Mm.
$25 and $23 for the chicken and sausage bowl. And
Mhm.
quite a few people have an issue with the pricing because apparently this 25 only gets you like a cup of the
Mhm.
gumbo, and people have issue with that. Now I saw C Diggy One, shout out to Chris, who typically goes live with Alexander Rogers. He said that someone tried it and said, this ain't nothing but beef stew. And when you're from New Orleans, you know a good gumbo. And if the gumbo's not, hitting like it's supposed to hit for that $25 for just a cup of gumbo, me personally, I'm definitely not gonna buy it. But hey, it is what it is. And I don't know if Tina got I'm sure she got some type of advice on how to price these things, and so I don't know what brought her to the conclusion of charging 25 and $23 for her gumbo. I believe she was selling it at the Houston Rodeo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And me personally, I'm not buying it. I'm sure there were other people who were buying it. I think some people might feel as though Tina's just charging 25 and $23 because she's Beyonce's mother. I don't know if that's the case whatsoever. It could be, maybe it probably is. Who knows? But anyways, I applaud Tina for her business venture. I think with her being a Creole woman, she has every right to, sell her gumbo. And who better than a Creole woman to sell you some gumbo? Once again, that
Child.
opinion that C Diggy One gave us on the last pop roast. That's just one opinion. So I haven't heard a vast majority of the opinions of her gumbo. I haven't heard anyone really dogging it like that. So maybe it's good. Who knows? But Jennifer, what are your thoughts on Miss Tina's gumbo? And do you have any issue with the pricing of paying $25 for a cup of gumbo?
Let me tell you something, Jonathan. I this is crazy, but I feel a little bit different. Again. So, in my opinion, Jonathan, for her, there's a big chance you're paying for her name, of course,
Of
right?
course, of course.
There's a big chance that you're also paying for ingredients. I can see her as a woman that requests that they have the best ingredients for everything so they're not really, shamming on anything.
Hmm.
And also when I think about food trucks, I feel like everything from anybody's food truck is stupid expensive for no reason.
It definitely is for sure.
So oh, and my last point is for like when you go to a fancy restaurant, $25 kind of sounds solid for what a bowl of gumbo would be, you know, at somebody's stupid fancy restaurant,
Yeah,
you know?
I can agree with that for sure.
Now, if they y'all were talking 30, 40, 50, then I'd be like, "Girl, what are we doing?"
And
That's
who's
the
buying
question.
that?
And who's and that's really what it comes down to, Jonathan.
Mm.
If you want to buy it, if you feel like it's valuable enough to purchase, go ahead and do so. If you don't, don't. So, I love how people get so excited and unhappy about prices.
Because if it's too hot for your for your coin pocket,
Let it go.
for that it ain't for you.
Ooh, because if I would have been on that menu like this, and gumbo's not exactly my thing, so it's not like I would be drawn to it. Now, if it was like some fried fish with some, macaroni and cheese and all that stuff with some rice and gravy and stuff like that, I would, oof,
Okay, yes,
to
I'll
be honest,
consider it.
I'd pay that.
Okay,
I'd pay the 25.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For something that I value. And then it comes from Tina Knowles. I want to see how this is. I'd pay. So yeah, if you upset, I believe it's okay to keep your extra opinions to yourself. I'm not going to call anybody broke because I'm sure there's plenty of people that have money that just wouldn't want to pay that. They don't see the value in it, and that's fine too.
Right.
But no, it's no need, man. That's how
Yeah.
I feel.
Really is no need. So earlier this week, Afro Man, who is most famous.
Jonathan. That's such a funny story. I'm sorry. Hold on. Bell Vibration says she better learn from Campbell's soup. Them prices are way too high. She needs to cut it. Oh gosh, Tyrone. But go ahead. I love this story. Go.
Afro Man, most famous for "Because I Got High." That
Because I
that
got
was
high.
a classic
Because I got
song.
high.
The vocals are immaculate on
Immaculate.
that song. Immaculate. So Afro Man was sued by Ohio deputies
Ciao.
over music videos that featured a 2022 raid footage. They raided his home. Apparently, they broke his gate.
Yep.
They came all up in his house looking for stuff. They ain't find jack nothing. Apparently, I heard that they thought that he had kidnapped someone or something of that nature. It made no sense to me. But anyway, so he made two music videos that featured the home footage. He had security home footage of this raid that happened. It was a whole lot of police
It was
officers
a
on that
whole
job.
lot, a whole lot.
It was
I'm over here trying to figure out like what they really looking for. Like this seems so freaking weird to me.
right, and so it looked like a SWAT team to me, but they weren't
Yeah.
just they just weren't dressed in all the gear and whatnot. But so actually, I mean, it's my footage, so I'm putting this footage out, and I'm gonna let
As
everybody
he
know what y'all
should.
did to me. Y'all broke my gate, y'all went all up and through my house, and all this good stuff. And one, like Jennifer said, I don't know what they were looking for. Apparently, they thought he had kidnapped someone. Apparently, they found nothing. I don't exactly understand they what they sued him for. I'm assuming it was defamation.
It
That's the
was
close.
it's defamation.
Okay, so they sued him for defamation, and I did see a little bit of the testimony, and he won. I don't know how anyone would vote against him in that jury, because if I saw what they did, I'd be upset like it was my home, like they did it to me. So shout out to Afro Man doing his thing, standing up for his rights, taking this all the way, because they probably was trying to just get some money out of him. To be honest, that's what I'm thinking. And I'm sure they felt like they were being defamed as well. I'm not surprised that they tried to sue him for that, but he
Did you see
won.
what he was wearing?
He was well. The picture that I have, he has American flag sunglasses on, and I'm assuming his shirt probably had the American flag on it too. But what was he
Let's
wearing,
not do
Jennifer?
some no assuming. Cause I got
Yeah, because I'm looking
it. Yeah.
at this picture here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see that one. Hold please.
This was
Um,
him after the verdict.
as he was outside.
Yeah, as he was outside. Oh, okay, yes.
That
I'm an
is
American.
American. But yeah, the from what I was able to read, Jonathan, the lawsuit was for oh gosh, I ain't paying for this. It was for it was for invasion of privacy and defamation case. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So basically one of the officers, they were upset about that mocking video or whatever. And basically there was accusations. Oh gosh, hold on. Cause it's a funny story. Hold please.
It's okay.
Okay, let's see. They had 7 plaintiffs. Wow. Okay, it says at trial, all 7 plaintiffs testified about the harassment they had suffered because of the rappers' music and videos. One, Lisa Phillips, had her gender identity called into question
Yikes.
in informant's videos and social posts. She cried on a stage.
Well, I mean, female officers tend not to give femininity unless you're looking at their nails, because I've seen quite a few female officers with nice looking nails.
Good looking nails. The jury apparently agreed with the with the argument of the sheriff's officers were acting in a public capacity during the raid, therefore were not shielded from criticism of their behavior.
Hmm.
Um, hold on. Here we go. Foreman was at home during the raid and was able to at least see at least part of the video recorded by his ex-wife and footage captured on his home security system before law enforcement turned off those cameras.
Wow. Wow.
He said on the stand the raid traumatized his children, who are 10 and 12 at the time. The whole raid was a mistake, all of their fault, Foreman testified. And there's more to this. I'm gonna have to send you some TikToks because I'm pretty sure I can pull this up kind of quickly because I know exactly who did this video on it, because there was it's just so much not funny stuff, but I mean it's unfortunate because
it is.
Oh wow, it's the first TikTok that popped up as soon as I opened TikTok.
At God. Look at God.
Can I tell you that God be knowing?
He be knowing all the time. Ain't no way he don't be knowing, because he knows all. He knows all.
Oh, okay. So let me pull this up real quick.
Restraining order situation.
Hold on.
Please watch this. Police officer Sean Grooms.
I'm gonna go into her thing real quick. This woman is a lawyer, and she's been talking about this. I love her. She's the best. So let's go to the first part.
Testifying on the stand day 2 of his trial. His house was raided by police officers in August of 2022 while he was not present, but his wife was. The warrant that the Adams County Sheriff's Office executed alleged that there were, quote, drugs, drug paraphernalia, money, and weapons associated with drug trafficking.
Look like there's cake over there.
It
look like cake.
Home. A very destructive, invasive, and ultimately fruitless search on his home, and found literally nothing in relation to those allegations. And in fact, no charges were ever filed. They busted through his door, through his gate, took a lot of belongings from his home, including what they reported as over $4,000 in cash money, which Afro Man spoke about after the fact because he did have security cameras in his home, and his current wife was also filming the event as it was happening. And these police officers were shown attempting to disconnect the cameras in his house. They were shown looking at lemon pound cake.
The Adams, because that pound cake looked good.
Kicked down my door. Then I heard the glass spray.
Come on, Bobo.
We can't do too much of it.
Doing something on behalf of
he took pound cake
duties in their official capacity. Performing in their
you see how he was looking at that cake?
He was looking at it.
Under the law, a matter of public concern, right? You are a public servant doing something on behalf of the state, of the government. So yeah, after the fact, he used that footage to make a music video.
Lemon pound cake.
The song is based on the events that occurred during that search warrant. And he then made several other music videos in relation to this, using the footage and the faces of these police officers, because again, they are public servants and they were doing these things in their official capacity. And he basically criticized them very heavily about their conduct, whether this was a legitimate search, whether it was really founded, whether they were just abusing their authority. And also the money that they took from his house was miscounted. And so it was believed for quite a while that they took money from Afro Man, which there are allegations against police officers all the time that they take money from individuals and never give it back. It was ultimately determined based on an internal review, which what could that mean? That there was no money taken. They just miscounted in the beginning. Okay. All alleged, right? All alleged. And so now these police officers are suing Afro Man for defamation. This is Afro Man.
Here she is.
I'm compiling.
This is Afro Man testifying on the stand day 2.
Where's the other one?
Here she is. Wait for more.
It's okay.
This is Afro Man testifying. This is my impression of the attorney representing the police officers who are suing Afro Man right before they testify at trial. Hey guys, so just a reminder before you get on the stand, okay, and testify under oath, one of the claims that we're bringing against Afro Man, aka Joseph Foreman, is defamation, okay, right, defamatory claim. One of the essential elements of that, stay with me, Whoa, we're getting distracted here. Look at me up, okay? Don't get distracted, okay?
She's
I promise you'll
amazing.
be able to go to the shooting range after this, okay?
Oh no!
Right. So one of the essential elements of a claim of defamation is that the statement you are alleging is defamatory must be untrue. It must be a false statement. It is our burden, yes, yours, ours and yours, mine and yours, everything's mine and yours, to prove that. We have to prove that it's false. We have to prove that it's false, okay? Has to be false. Yes, thank you. I knew you were going to ask that. The words false statement and defamatory statement, two different things. Two different things. Okay, defamatory means tending to damage your reputation, et cetera, et cetera. False means it's untrue. So when you get on the stand, we gotta make sure to emphasize that this is untrue.
You're claiming that is the defamation statement is that he said he had sex with your wife?
Yes.
And that's painted you in a false light?
It's caused tremendous pain in my life.
I'll get to that. We have to go through false light first. So does it paint you in a false light?
This is Afro-Man testifying on the stand day 2 of his trial. His house was raided by police officers in August of 2022 while he was not present.
I don't know if I moved
his
anything.
wife was. The warrant. This is my impression of the attorney representing the police.
But we all know that's not true, correct? Go through false light first. So does it paint you in a false light?
Yes, that my wife is cheating on me with Mr. Foreman.
But we all know that's not true, correct?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know?
Wait, you don't know if your wife's cheating on you or not?
You want to go there?
No, I just want to ask that question. You said we don't know.
I've been with that woman since middle school.
I know.
I would hope she wouldn't. But you know what? Once somebody puts it out there for their fun and entertainment.
And if that wasn't good enough for you, right before closing arguments, Afro-Man called one of the officers' ex-wives to the stand to testify in his defense about how no, wasn't harmful. No, they were joking about it. No pain and suffering. All that to say, okay? Even if the officer had done the literal only thing he needed to do on the stand, their case, in my personal and legal opinion, would still be pretty boof, okay? Pretty buck wild. There is nothing the First Amendment protects more zealously than criticism of matters of public concern. When you are a public servant, when you are acting in your official capacity as a police officer, that is a matter of public concern. You open yourself up to criticism, including Terry Hatcher, as a public figure.
You have the right to do everything.
In the same way that a private figure would be. I could go on and on.
So what they did, searching your house, gave you
the right
that's pretty
much
to do
it.
everything.
But the wife, she said, she basically they made themselves look real stupid during this whole thing. So
They really did.
praise God.
I'm going to look up
some
victory. I'm looking up some of those testimony. I want to see the testimony of those police officers.
And it's all available. It is.
Okay. All right. Cool beans. Any comments before we move forward, Genesita?
No, sir.
So, Pretty Ricky's Baby Blue. Jennifer, don't make that face. So Pretty Ricky is currently on the Boys for Life tour with B2K. I saw a video of B5. They're on the tour. I love B5. The two songs that they made singles. I love it. All I do is think of you day and night. I love that song. Anyways, and it was a cover, but anyways, they're B2K. And plenty of other artists. Young Jock is on there. And so at a recent concert, I don't know if he's been doing this on every tour date, but at a recent concert, Baby Blue was on stage with his shirt off. Now, Baby Blue's body is not he's not the most fit at this point in his life. When I actually saw the post, I saw in his face that he's clearly gained a little bit of weight, which I have no issue with whatsoever. I had no issue with the way that Baby Blue looked on stage. If you remember, Bone Crusher back in the day used to be on stage with his shirt off all the time. Rick Ross has performed with his shirt off plenty of times as well. So men who are not necessarily the most fit men in the world will do this from time to time. I personally have no issue with it. I personally love me a thick man. So, it ain't, don't make me don't ever mind. I don't give a darn. But Baby Blue is saying that he's being body shamed on social media for not having his body together. And
you said Baby Blue is saying that Baby Blue said it.
Baby Blue said it on a post that he said that y'all can't be body shaming me. That's what he said on the post. Don't be body shaming me. And Here's my thing. You know how we are in America. And you know that a lot of times in TV shows and television, every time you see someone take their shirt off, they're going to have a six pack. It's just a requirement. Like from now on, like if you ain't got no six pack, that shirt ain't coming off. So when you go on stage, and you may not be the most fit, you have Baby Blue. Like I love.
Keep it real with yourself.
I love Pretty Ricky. Blue Stars. Their first album was my jam. I played that CD the F out. I have no issue with Baby Blue performing without his shirt, but you have to understand that when you are performing and your body don't look as fit as some others may, people are going to say something. People are going to talk. People are going to say, you need to put that shirt back on. Like, it's not for everyone. Like, and maybe for people like me, I don't mind it at all. Like, I have no issues with it whatsoever. I might have found it a little bit attractive. Who knows? But hey, I'm not like everybody, and everybody's not like me. But you have to understand that there is a possibility that people are going to say some things about the fact that you may not be as fit as you used to be. This is the biggest I've ever seen Baby Blue. And to me, I feel as though the weight looks good on him. I personally feel as though he I've always thought the Baby Blue was an attractive man. I've always thought that. So I have no issue with him being a little bit heavier now. But when you're on stage in front of a crowd of thousands of people, not everybody is going to be able to appreciate your thick body the way that people like me would. So, you can't, I don't know if he was surprised by this quote backlash that he was receiving, but I'm definitely not surprised. But, he's not the first. He won't be the last. I just hope that he doesn't take this criticism to heart. I hope that he doesn't feel humiliated, or he doesn't delve into depression or anything of that nature, because I'm sure there were a lot of people who were making these types of comments about him. And when you're on a certain level and that's all that you're seeing in your DMs, all that you're seeing in your comments, it will have an effect on you. But at the same time, before you decide to go on stage with your shirt off, you have to think, what are people going to say about this? What's going to be the commentary around me being on stage with my shirt off? So I have no issue with it. I did not think he looked unattractive. I did not think that was unsexy. I had no issue with it whatsoever. But you can't be surprised when people are calling it out when you're not the most fit man in the world. Jennifer, what are your thoughts with your rolling out?
I don't even think it's about saying, what are people going to say? I think it's more about you being in a space of understanding that not everybody is going to be with it.
Yeah, right.
And you being understanding, knowing that people are going to speak up, people that I don't want to hear their voice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just is what it is. And that's what it's going to be. And if you have the confidence to do so,
right,
you would think that they'd have the confidence enough to stand up in it, right, to just be in the space, just be. And yeah, I'm surprised that he's the one that said. That's why I had to have you to repeat that. I'm surprised it was him, because he chose to go out there. When you choose to do things that are not necessarily socially always acceptable, you just have to come out there not only bearing your belly, but bearing the confidence needed to do so. Right. So when he saw all that discourse about his body, I would have hoped he'd said to himself, this is just par for the course.
Right. Because that's all it is.
Literally. So
he's not nearly as big as Bone Crusher was, not nearly as big as Rick Ross was. Like to me, he ain't even that big. Of course, he's got a little bit of a belly, got a little bit of tata.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
But hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. At least not to me. I don't mind
exactly. It. There's a lot of people that don't mind it. A lot of people that live in reality. And
okay.
So that's the only reason why I'm a little disappointed that he took that to heart. I'm disappointed that he took it to heart, and he need to quit being, I'm not saying it's all his problem, because, people don't need to be, getting on him for his choices as well.
It's our society.
Yeah. But, you still have to start here because you can't change what everybody else is doing. All you can do is alter what's going on within yourself,
Right.
and he just needs to keep up the confidence in himself for that.
Right. He said y'all can't be y'all don't need to be body shaming me. I look like a lot of y'all's dads. And he just went on and on and on and on.
And it's like to say that I look like a lot of y'all's dads is like they're not coming to see their dad. You know what I'm saying? He's not catching it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just leave it alone, baby.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone.
It's okay, baby blue. I liked what I saw, and I don't know if that means probably doesn't mean nothing to you, but hey, I have no issue with it whatsoever. I really don't. I've got no issue with it whatsoever. Any comments before we move on to our last topic?
All right. Velvet just said, "Sir, you are really dumb. So dumb, for real. Accusing that man of being a bedroom intruder." Velvet Vibration says, "I hear showing off your Miller Lite keg, YOLO." Okay.
Right.
Hey, Miss Kim.
Hey, Miss Kim. Good evening.
She says, "Hey y'all, I'm in Denver on a layover. Okay, be safe." Oh, I bet you it's freezing over there, Colorado.
It probably is. Denver, Colorado. Jeez.
She just going from one climate to the next.
Right.
All right, that's it.
Okay, so EJ Johnson, Magic Johnson's son, was on Carlos King's podcast this past week. And EJ was there. I don't know what EJ identifies as. To my knowledge, EJ does not identify as trans or non-binary. I don't think EJ identifies by either of those identities. So I'm just going to refer to EJ as he. So EJ, came onto the show, had a cute little outfit, you know what I'm saying? Had, a nice pussycat wig going on. I don't know if it was a wig or if it was hair.
Look,
but,
I think it was his hair.
It was his hair? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so had the short do going on. Something that EJ said has caused a little bit of a stir that I've seen in the YouTube community. And it also made me want to talk about it as well. So EJ talked about growing up, saying that, he wanted to wear skirts and, I'd look better in skirts than she would and, all this good stuff. And then the topic went to dating. And EJ revealed to us that he's not into or attracted to gay men. He doesn't want a gay man. That's not what he wants. That's not what he desires. EJ said that he only dates straight men.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give y'all a lesson here. I really have to give y'all a lesson. It's not to say that EJ is wrong for feeling the way that he feels, but I want to deal in reality. If you, as EJ, and EJ presenting himself as EJ as a male presenting, because although he wears skirts, although he, has his hair done, all that good stuff, at the end of the day, if I saw EJ, I would assume that he is male presenting. So if you approach someone or someone approaches you, the way that you present yourself, I present as male. So let's just talk about it being me, rather. If a man approaches me and says that he wants to get with me, he wants to date with me, he wants to hit it and quit it, like whatever the case might be, I'm going to assume that he is at least male attracted. To me, there's no possibility of a heterosexual man being interested in having intercourse or even dating another man because he does not see men in that way. He may be able to say, oh, that man is attractive or that man is a good looking man, but I don't want to do nothing with him. But if you think there's a straight man that is approaching you for some good old fun times in the bedroom, chances are, especially if he goes through with the act of sexual intercourse with you, and he probably enjoys it, chances are he's not a heterosexual man. He's probably, even at the least, he's questioning his sexuality. But at the end of the day, that is not a straight man that you are having sex with, my brother or my sisters. That is not a straight man. we do have, there's a fantasy with us as the LGBTQ plus community of being attracted to straight men. A lot of times because there are a lot of very attractive straight men out there, and that's just the fact of the matter. And there's a little bit of a fantasy of gay men. Mainly, I speak for only gay men because I don't know how it is with gay women. But with gay men being able to pull a straight man, but at the end of the day, if you were able to pull a straight man, then that man wasn't straight to begin with. That man was attracted to you in some way, shape, or form because the majority of the time, sexual interaction is a two-way street. It's a two-way street. It got to go both ways. In this case, when it's consensual, it's got to go both ways. And I get that, because and that's why there is so much, gay baiting going on Instagram and on these and on OnlyFans. And, that's why there's all this gay for pay going on, because it is extremely lucrative to pander towards the gay community because we gonna pay.
Come on.
Okay. So, it's that's the reason why I think it's so important for us to have this conversation concerning sexuality, because a lot of people, it's like I don't know what made EJ say what he said. I'm assuming that he was referring to masculine presenting men as opposed to straight men. At least that's what I would hope that he was trying to say. Because once again, if you are a man and a man is willingly agreeing to have sex with you, then that man is not straight at all whatsoever. Once again, at the least he is questioning, but if he agrees to consensually have sexual relations with you, my brother and sister, he's not heterosexual. So to me, it just sounded ignorant. To me, it sounded ignorant. Coming out of a man's mouth. To me, it sounded ignorant. Jennifer, did you hear of this story? And it sounds like you were agreeing with me. What are your thoughts?
Well, it sounds like when I heard it, it didn't strike me with like total confusion. It just made me have a lot of questions still, though. I'm thinking maybe he just needs to go ahead and start transitioning. I feel you know what I'm saying? Not saying that that's how it has to be,
right?
Because look at how he lives his life. I don't know. It just seems like to hear him say that I look better than a lot of the girls in here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they choose, and then he choose to get with me. Okay. So what makes you think they're straight?
Right.
I think there's some conversations that need to be had. Maybe conversations that around him where they're not really keeping it funky,
right,
or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Like.
Because once again, if there's a man that is said to be straight but chooses to get with a man that he knows is a man,
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
A very pretty man,
right?
What are we doing here? Because this is no shade, no nothing, but you can see the masculinity on EJ.
Yeah.
Clearly. And then you can see the femininity, the beauty, everything. Right. You can see all of that on EJ. For EJ to be under the assumption that the people because like, okay, you're talking about date.
Mm-hmm.
These people that you're dating, you're going outside with them on a date, and they see you, and everybody else see you, and everybody see him with you. Like, maybe they ain't telling you the truth, baby, or maybe maybe you might be their first tryst.
Yes.
To excite their fantasies. You know what I'm saying? Of what they've always wanted.
Right.
I saw somebody do a video that said they are bi. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's another situation as well. I cannot wrap my head around whether or not the people that would get with EJ are straight. I'm not. It's no dig, but
no, not at all. But like I said, I like to live in reality. And, if a man approaches me and he wants to get with me, I can only assume that he's not straight, because I present as a man. Like I might be feminine. Yes, I am feminine. So be it. But as far as physically, this all man right here. And I can just imagine EJ in an interview with his man, and the interviewing, questioning them about their sexuality, and EJ saying, "Oh, he's straight." Like how is that going to look? How is that going to sound? It's going to sound crazy. It's going to sound crazy, my love. It's going to sound crazy. So I hope that EJ educates himself on the art of sexuality and the spectrum that it exists in,
because it sounds like he hasn't had them kind of conversations before.
Right.
And with sexuality and the attraction, people are attracted to the feminine. People are attracted to the masculine. People are attracted to a look like.
And I think because EJ presents himself in a feminine way, he feels as though that gives him, leeway to say, "Oh, he must be straight because he thinks I'm." I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
He needs some more conversations with some black gay men and women
For sure.
Because the bulk of the things that I sense with him is him feeling a sort of superiority above the women that he's around.
For sure.
And to feel a sense of victory winning over a straight man when there's other straight, beautiful females around, and he chose me. It's like, sir, I don't think that's what you think it is.
Right. Because for some gays, it feels good to be able to pull a married man who got a wife, and he's stepping out on his wife to get with me. I must be special. Like, but I get that.
But he been wanting Bujana all this time, though.
Exactly.
Oh Jesus. we both out of breath. He's curious. That's what Unveiled Vibration said.
Exactly.
Miss Kim says Jack Harlow was an ally, but he undid his ally privilege with the statement and releasing a whack album. Yeah, but you know what, Miss Kim, I start to question his allydom. With the way that he's speaking. I'm sorry. It's like if you truly was with it and understood that what you were doing wasn't necessarily yours, you'd speak a different way.
Right.
And for him to feel so free is like, child, I don't know no more. Unveiled Vibration says, Miss Kim, I remember that line. It's brutal. Y'all people couldn't go eat somewhere else. Heavy eye rolls. Oh, she was talking about she's at the airport. I'm sorry.
Okay.
In Denver, remember? And Tyrone said, "Hey, Miss Kim, how are things in the Mile High Airport? Are you able to grab a beverage?" And she says, "I'm in the world's longest Chick-fil-A line, Tyrone."
Wow. Well,
the world's largest. Child.
That's to be expected.
So nobody want nothing else, huh?
I mean, when Chick-fil-A is an option, there are no others.
Okay, and it's if it's 8:58 on the East Coast, in Denver, it should at least be.
Probably 5.
Wait, hold on. Let me do the math because I don't think they're totally Pacific. So 8, 7, 6. It should be at least 6 over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Anywho.
For Chick-fil-A, it don't matter what time of day.
Wow. Anyway, okay. Miss Kim says they have been roasting Jack since the album dropped. Yeah. Digging in. Top Secret One says, I don't think a lot of dudes are checking for EJ. I could be wrong. Straight-ish dudes are looking for dudes, not 7 foot T-words.
Yikes.
Top Secret, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
For sure.
It's so...
For sure. But EJ just needs to have these sexuality conversations. That's just what, because for me, it sounds like EJ's opinion on sexuality is just black and white. It's just black and white, gay or straight. Like it's so much more than that.
But just you got to remember though, those people that should try to have these conversations with him, they're going to be in the process of like knocking this man down by 2 to 7 notches. Because he believes that he's better.
Yeah.
And in this race of life, nobody's better. You're just doing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Anywho. Thank you, Top Secret. God bless you.
Top Secret, thank you so much for being here. This is my first time seeing you on my channel, so thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you.
Thank you for coming on in. Miss Kim says Bruno always speaks with respect and love to those who inspired him and came before him. That's
For sure.
That's my point. You know what I'm saying? I kind of put Bruno as like a standard of respect.
For sure.
He does the Negroidian music and he does it well. But not only that, on top of that, he says their names.
Mm-hmm.
He said the whole album, that 24 Karat Marriage.
24 Karat Gold, I think.
Magic.
24 Karat Magic.
Yeah, like in that whole album, it was just a bunch of, that what's it called, Tyrone?
New Jack Swing.
New Jack Swing. And we all know where that New Jack Swing came from. It came from Teddy Riley. Okay. And when he got that Grammy for that album, he said, "What, Teddy Riley?"
Yes, for sure. For sure.
That's respect. I don't care how much coke he do. He's a respectful man.
Okay. I love his mugshot. He was just as happy as he wanted to be. Wanted to be, honey.
Okay.
The biggest smile on his face.
He's just another one of those people like, you can't tell me nothing about that man.
No, not at all.
Not one thing.
When I was working at American Eagle, I cannot tell you how many times I listened to Talking to the Moon from his first album. Like, that song is so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
And then it's like, I don't even care if he got debt or whatever. He's funny about all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's going on with him, he's a real dude, man. Don't do that. Unfelt Vibration said, "Psst, I got a secret to share. I'm attracted to the lady with the Dr. Pepper shirt."
Okay, Tyrone.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Shouting out your woman. That's beautiful.
Miss Kim says, Monica, okay. My nigga. You know exactly what it is. We knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is when you just lose, whatever that is, and says, you know what, I'm gonna just be out here with it. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Yeah.
Not understanding how much it's gonna be detrimental. Top Secret One says, you are welcome. I have truly enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. So much.
Mamir says, hi Mamir.
Hey Mamir.
She says, I hope y'all having a great evening. I sure am. It's about to be even better because I'm about to get off of this thing.
Yes, she is. Is that all the comments, Jennifer?
It is.
Thank y'all so much for joining us. This has been such a fun show. And a new perspective has come to me. So I truly appreciate you, Jennifer, for enlightening me. Because, I don't know nothing about Jack Harlow. I don't follow any of his music. I'm just going off of the video that I saw. So thank you so much for allowing me to see it in a different light. And understand that I ain't gonna say it's F Jack Harlow, but
it is.
Thank y'all so much for joining us. Jennifer, why don't you share with the good old peoples your social media contacts real quick?
Hello, I am Prophetic Fire Reiki. You can follow me on TikTok as well as Instagram at Prophetic Fire Reiki, and of course here on YouTube, Prophetic Fire Reiki. I go live every single Monday at 8 p.m.
Wonderful. Join us every Saturday morning at 10-ish a.m. for Faithful Warrior Ministries. Just look us up on YouTube. Once you type us in on YouTube, Faithful Warrior Ministries will pop right on up. We go live every Saturday morning at 10-ish a.m. to read a devotional, do a little bit of chit chat, and of course, as always, pray. So whether you're familiar with that or not, just come on over and join us every single Saturday morning at 10-ish a.m. with Faithful Warrior Ministries. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $JonathanLee07. That's $JonatanLee07. Once again, thank y'all so much for joining us. Be sure to join me on Monday nights at 6 p.m. for my 90-Day Fiancé review with Dustin Butler. Also, be sure to join myself, Jennifer, next week for our Hot Topics and Social Commentary show next Thursday. Love you guys for watching. Hope you guys are safe out there. Love you, love you, love you. And that's it for now. So bye, y'all. Oh,
wait, hold on. No, we can talk about it later. Hold on. Okay, bye.
Bye, y'all.